The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour, where we come together, no matter where we are in the world, even in Lutz, Florida, at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we have a barn burner of a day so far. Volume is, I think we were doing about 6.2 billion shares. So we're about 600, 700 million shares stronger than we were yesterday at this time. In fact, I wrote it down and now I see it. We're actually almost a billion shares stronger than we were to the downside yesterday at this time. So we've got a little bit of strength. Is it monstrous? No, but that's kind of good. You have too light and it falls apart fairly easily. You have just about the right amount, and you can go for days and weeks and months. Or you can have the buying or selling climax where all the volume comes in at once and it's just huge. Generally, if you've got whatever it is, a stock with 1 million shares, and you get 2.5 million, that's okay. You get 5 million on an average stock that has 1 million shares a day. That's probably, as Wyckoff called it, the buying or selling climax. Everything came in. It was all over. The light bulb that burns twice as bright only burns half as long. So if you want something that continues, you've got to have that kind of three bears thing where the porridge is too cold, just right, or too hot. So the volume's pretty good. It's not, it could be better and make me a little happier, but it didn't have to be that much better. Now, questions have been, and I sent out some updates earlier in the day. And in fact, I think I had a couple of updates today when we're looking at where the market is headed for today. And in my calls in that, I wanted to sell a couple of the options positions that we had today going into 388. That would be my guess of somewhere that would be the most likely point to have the market expire out here today at. So it may even go through that a little bit, but I'll go ahead and take the money as it goes through 388. I think we were 380, almost 387 right now. In fact, 387 now. So we have about a point more to go on the SPYs higher from the options predictions. We were looking at 390, and we were talking about that this week, both in the newsletter and on the show. Option market makers were not scared yesterday. I think we actually brought that up with a DIN question about being long into this morning's move and numbers, and really wasn't. A couple of things. First, of course, was the options, but the last couple of days of the TLT really made me think that someone knew that the jig was up. You had that gap higher yesterday. You continued with coming back a little bit, and you got right back up to basically pretty much a little higher close yesterday in the TLT. Today you're moving on. Right now, the next gap comes up at about 106 or 107. I thought we were probably going to come back down to 96, and we may still. But in the meantime, we're probably at that 107 level before we stop this move higher. You got a couple of gaps up there. You've got some decent volume today. Is it fantastic? No. I mean, you had some days down that had 26 million shares, like on the 19th of December in the TLT, and you're kind of hitting that now. But I think that's a issue for next week. But again, I'm kind of looking that I think that we were massively oversold. Doesn't mean that the bear market is over, Just when everybody and their dog decides that they want to be short, generally that's when you get a rip your face rally on your market, on your face, rip your face off market. And that's it. You don't want to be short all the time. You don't want to be the last person at the party. You make your money. You make a lot of money being short. Then it's time to stand back, wait for the next opportunity like this. Sometimes you don't get it, but I'll guarantee you sleep a lot better if you wait for a move like this to re-short, and you don't get and become a perma-bull. We were talking about that in the den with a couple of folks earlier about, some people becoming incredibly famous for just sitting on one side of the market and then yelling that they're a great trader. Market goes up, markets go down. But if you're going to be short, you probably have to be a better trader than just being long. 877-927-6648. That's the number. Give me an email at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den. Okay, somebody's been talking about. Quick look back into that. We talked about how it could get back into the trading range, but it needs to close above 128.86. Let's see what this thing is right here as we look at it. Okay, 129.19. Okay, you're back in the trading range. You had about 20% lighter volume as you blew through it. What do you have on that day? 84. So even a little bit lighter. So you have gone and broken the previous low on lighter volume. I'm not saying this is the end all be all, but the energy on the way down really didn't expand. You did get a test on lighter volume, and you really never broke through the volume of October 13th either. So is this going to the moon? Maybe not, but probably more in a trading range that you could see maybe back up to 150, where this all started. That was back on the 13th of December. Okay, let's take another one. Of course, one of the bigger reversals out here today, which I bought calls on yesterday during its weak point, was Tesla. I added to those this morning. This is a massively shorted stock. One of the things in my newsletter each day is the most highly shorted stocks. Let's see if I can find that right here. Here it is. And guess who and what is the most hated big-time stock in the market? It certainly has been Tesla. We talked on the show yesterday about how it was being pummeled by the short sellers, and that's always a good sign that you're getting ready for a fairly significant move. 33% yesterday, 30% the day before, 28% before, 35%. That is a lot of shorts going into Tesla. Those guys are going to have to get out of the way before it goes lower. We'll be back in a minute.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And the first request of the day is for in phase, and whether or not it's a long position. You gapped up back on the 27th of July with 11.7 million shares, into it with 3.6 million shares today. Don't see any sign that you should buy it today, but you pretty much have a fairly decent low. Of course, this company makes AC to DC converters and DC to AC converters, otherwise known as inverters, mostly for big power draw things like electric vehicles. So they've been a big winner out here. But yeah, if you're looking for just a chart pattern, absolutely looks beautiful. I would have liked to seen a little bit more today. You got a nice sign. You got light volume. But I'd want one more candle to make something here, make it look just a little bit sweeter. We'll sweeten the pot out here. But actually looks fairly good. Don't see anything wrong with it. You got the light volume and everything in a Wyckoff pattern that you would like to see. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Let's clean up a little bit of this. Got some other emails. Let's do a little bit of history, and then we'll move on to a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Now, actually, let's talk about those. Numbers this morning were revised. I think that really put the juice in the market. We talked about the TLT a little bit. Of course, gold had a nice run on the dollar move out here today. And let's see, what do we have? Yeah, up $33. So, yeah, gold is going to be one of those things you just want to buy and sit on your hands and know that you're going to have 3 days down and then one huge day up, and 3 days down and one huge day up. And it's going to be, if you just sit there and watch it tick, you're probably going to be miserable. But if you check in once a day or once a week, you'll probably be happy. 877-927-6648. Let's do a little history, and then we'll move on.
Then it's all just a little little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 2004, Apple Computer introduces the first variation of the iPod line, the iPod Mini. The iPod Mini began the trend of Apple to introduce smaller iPods that were often cheaper, could hold just as many or more songs, but again, cheaper. The underlying technology proved such as availability of smaller hard drives. The iPod Mini eventually afforded flash storage, and the future iPod Nano. Apple continues to push iPod technology forward during that time, and they remained the dominant force in the digital audio player market, although I never bought one. But a lot of new products come out at this time. In 2004. Okay, check. Got that. Okay. We were looking at the volume. Someone said they wanted it bigger. I mean, on the short sale percentages. I did not look at Netflix yet today, so we'll do that real quick. NFLX. See how it did. Not a big move out here. Again, we talked about how many of these tech stocks had already just started to come back up to resistance lines. In this case, on the 15th, Netflix gapped a huge down on almost 18 million shares, and you're into it today with 6 million shares. So a lot of these, I think most of the gravy has already been eaten up in some of these, so you'd want to watch them for light volume here today. But I think we could stumble up for a while. Don't see a lot of other reasons. Okay, 388. Yep, so I'm out. I'm selling my Tesla calls. Okay, and what else do we have here? Okay, John wants to look at NVIDIA, MU, and AMD. Just about half volume today. I don't see a lot in that. You're still in the sideways action. We talked yesterday that a lot of these are, I mean, they look like they're at support, but there isn't anything that says they're going higher. You do have a good piercing pattern in AMD today. Volume is a little lighter than you would think. You wanted something less than 108 million shares. So far, about 49 million shares. Again, I probably want a sweetener on Monday with a little better candle if you're looking for something bigger, but quite a nice reversal out here. It got down to $60.05. And of course, what was the thing here? 63.73. So a pretty nice reversal, a pretty nice tombstone. Not a tombstone either. Dragonfly candle out there showing that you probably have some kind of bottom out here on lighter volume. Let's tour the rest with MU. We talked about how that one looked like it could continue higher, and it has. Why there's not a lot of juice, it is going back in to the supply line. That's at about 57 and change. You got to 57.01 today. Volume's about 11 million shares. Probably going to have to consolidate out sideways for a little while. Let's take a quick look at the SMHs. You are right back into resistance from this gap lower on the 22nd of December. Came down with 4.8 million shares into it today with 1.8, 1.9. So again, a lot of these are going to have to consolidate out if they're going to go higher. If I was in the SMHs or a lot of those other stocks, I would probably take my cash and take another look on Monday. Okay. Let's update that so I can take a look at what's going on here. 388.02. Okay. What else do we have? Okay. Get some emails here. Let's go through those. Okay. From yesterday, although I didn't get it till about 6 o'clock, FTNT, Fortnite, the security company, they opened up a little higher. Got a nice wide-ranging bar out here. It's tough to actually hang anything on this, long or short. In fact, I don't have a good call on that either way. But thanks, Golf Guy. Okay. And we looked at that. Microsoft. We'll take a look at Oracle when we return.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we left, we foreshadowed looking at Oracle. Oracle's major high was April 5th of 2002, $83.82, 9.4 million shares. And what do we have to do? We're breaking it today with 23 million shares so far. So about 120%, 200%, depending on how you want to look at it. Probably good. And why you'd probably like a little bit more volume, a valid breakout. It looks like it's going to close above it. I still don't understand what these guys are doing to make money and go higher, but certainly they must have found the right products. Of course, they tend to sell only high-end corporations, and you don't get to see a great deal of what they do out in the wild. So I tend to concentrate on those stocks that have a little bit more visibility for the unwashed masses like me. But certainly on a chart basis, you got Oracle breaking out with a sign of strength, and that looks fairly good. On the downside today, the biggest loser let's see, is that it? Yeah, the biggest loser on the NASDAQ 100 is Genius Brands. Down 4.4%. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. But also a penny stock. So who knows? Okay. What else do we have? JD down 2.5%. Yeah, that really doesn't mean much of anything either there on the chart on light volume. Take-Two, another company in the video graphics business, down a little bit, but not a lot of volume on that one either. Let's take a look at some of the winners here. Costco winner chicken dinner. Well, that almost scared me. Actually, a pretty good looking chart out here when you go back and look at it. You had two lows in the 3.5 million range, June 17th, 442.44. You come back into it with about the same volume, just a tiny bit less on October 13th. Then you come back in just a day ago with 2 million shares. So you got a nice pop here today. You're back into the gap down. That gap down had 3.4 million shares. And, of course, you're already up with 3.6 million shares already. Doesn't mean it's going to continue, but you have come in and filled the gap with about the same amount of energy. I would have liked to seen a little less energy off the November 30th high back down to this low. But if you could get back to maybe 455-ish, I might be a buyer on that if that's what you're looking at. Qualcomm. A nice candle on this one. You're back into the gap lower of the 22nd of December that had 12 million shares. Fairly light today, but you filled the whole thing with 5.2 million shares. So you want to watch that very closely on Monday. Applied Materials, also a big wiener out here, up 6.2% at the moment. It's back into its gap down. That had 10.8 million shares. Today you've got about 3.2. So again, SMH is kind of looking like maybe they are going to stall out at these levels. Let's take a quick look at Texas Instruments, TXN. Back into the gap down of the familiar day of 12/15 or December 15th if you live in Lutz. On that day, it was down on 6 million shares. You're up on about 3 million. So not a bad looking day here. Okay. Vic says, what's your thought on VIXY here? VIXY. Look. Oh, that's right. I've got a problem with that. Let's just take a look at the VIX then. In fact, let's go to the UVXY. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything here that says that you want to be out of it. Almost always when it gets into this price range, you're looking for a reverse split on it. And I haven't seen anything about it, but I would check on that first if you're thinking about actually doing it. But no, I think we have kind of a very light volume push higher, at least into options expiration on the 20th and maybe into the end of January. A lot of people will short it all the way up. We may even have very light volume, but I think that the market really needs a breather here from all the short sellers. And when they give up, that will probably be the time to actually short the market. Okay, and what else? THX. Quick look. Come on. What is THX? I have no idea. Okay. And let's see, let's go to some other stuff here that I wanted to look at. We looked at Costco too, and we wanted to go back to some of these other ones. Let's take a look at Western Digital. We looked at it yesterday. Can you go through the Qs? We will here in just a second. You've got a breakout in Western Digital, but not with volume. You wanted something in the neighborhood of 11 million shares. You got about 4 million shares today. So, yeah, you know, just because a stock goes up on light volume doesn't instantly mean it returns. But I think you probably got all the wood on the bat of the SMHs here today. Let's take a look at the Qs real quick and see what volume is on them. This is where one of the reasons why I was long over the last couple of days, and that is that you did come back down into this huge volume day on the Qs. That was the October 13th low with 113 million shares. You got into that candle about 3/4 of the way with 45 million shares. Now, normally 50% volume lighter on an equity would have me teeing up and ready to go. But less than 50% of the volume on a ETF, and that's like saying it's 25% of the volume. So you've got a real nice move here. You would maybe like to see a little bit more volume you've got yet. But yeah, I think you've got some room to run in the Qs. We'll be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And welcome back. We'll continue to look to many of these stocks that are moving out here. We looked at the Qs. Wanted to look at Cisco too. About half the volume of yesterday. So I don't see much going on in that. Let's go back to the rest of the movers and shakers. Let's see. We looked at AMAT. Oh, Avago is one I wanted to look at, AVGO. With the movement of Apple today, you do have, and we have been looking for this to come back and test this resistance level that goes back to June 1st of 2022 at 581.21. That's the 1.8 million share high. Today, you're in it for 1.8. So you're going to match. You're going to close above it. So kind of looks a little bit better than some people have thought. Let's go back and look at Apple real quick. The reason I bring this up is there, I think, was a bunch of news overnight that I saw that talked about them getting production back on. We've talked about this at the start of the show about it actually testing the previous low on lighter volume. Are we talking about this going right back up to maybe 162? Probably not. But we'll take a look at some of the retracements out here. What I wanted to show on this one, because I'd seen it earlier, and a lot of these on the moves down, you want to start looking. I'll try to find and scan over the weekend for confluence levels. But Apple, if you're thinking you've got a, let me do it here. Let's do this 1 year. See, that was the one I was looking for. You've got a little bit better confluence level at 144.99, and that is just above this double gap that goes back to the 15th. That 15th number is probably going to be a huge number for December 15th in a lot of those different areas. But you're probably going to see not only that gap, but the confluence level setting up any potential bounce on Apple. That would be right now, if you were in the trade or thinking about going long it, that would be where I'd get out on the top side. Don't have much risk to the downside. It closes below 124.76. It's going much lower. As I said, this could be nothing more than a nice bounce in a bear market. The volumes today not starting off so well, but again, 3 days, 4 days from now, if volume starts picking up, that could change a lot. Others in this sector, I wanted to look at SKWS, which is right, SWKS. Skyworks Solutions. As I was talking about that one, it's already hit kind of a level. Do I need to zoom in a little bit more? I wanted to see everybody to see the two confluence levels on this one, and that is the 113.92 August 5th high is the first node for confluence. The second one is the March 29th, 2022 high, 139.66. But you'll see just how often confluence in these taking the stairs down kind of markets work for resistance. But that's right at $100, 99.50 to 142. You got to 101. You never held it. That was back into a gap of 3.5 million shares on September 13th. And you got 2.55 million shares on that day. So now you challenge that. You came back down to what support was. Now you're just kind of bouncing around. But if you're looking at these, make sure you get and keep a good eye on confluence levels. VICR. Okay. Victor. Take a quick look at what these guys do. Okay. More electronic power companies in the United States and Europe. A company offers a range of brick format DC to DC converters. Okay. You had a huge high volume low that has not been retested. And this and that one would be 42.90. You can look at it another way, and that is that you never really got the volume of the huge day down on March 23rd, and all of this stuff has been false breakouts back to that. Now, to get it, you need a close above $60.50. You attempted that on November 11th with 400,000 shares, but you need a sign of strength through $60. And then that sets up resistance in confluence at $68 to mid 67s. So not a bad trade from here, but the downside is if you've got high volume lows, a lot of times there's going to get tested, and it's better. At least I found out better off to go find ones that don't have high volume lows. Okay. So take a look at TMUS. TMUS. Let me get back in here. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. T-Mobile. Nice moves today. Good volume, couple of days, but not much on the way today. Looks good. Support where you'd want to buy it is 134 if you're not in it yet, but it looks like it's going to go retest 154.38. So maybe this segment is starting to pick up. Hector says, I believe technology is going to move CAT and DE into the future. Any thoughts? Yeah. Let me take a look at those during the break, and we'll take a look at it. Hector also says that we're a little bit too bearish out here. We're not looking higher, and he requests the negative waves.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves? Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change?
Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Well, no negative waves as we go into the break. When we come back, we'll look at cat and deer.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Well, we've got a fairly big reversal day here. Wrapping up, and we'll take a lot better look at it on Monday. I wanted to get to something I talked about this week earlier when someone asked about fertilizer stocks. Remember that 80% of the natural gas is used as feedstocks for fertilizer around the world. So when natural gas came down, so did the price of fertilizer and the fertilizer stocks themselves. A lot of them were sitting on fertilizer made with very expensive natural gas in the fall. And I think a lot of people are thinking that they will have tough times on earnings because of that. 20% is used for heating the process and producing electricity to actually manufacture it, but 80% of it is from most of the nitrogen fertilizers is directly from natural gas. And of course, we have to thank the German individual that came up with the process for all the bioweapons of the First World War II. I forget his name right now, but hey, what can you say? A little this, a little bit of that. But certainly natural gas is a big part of nitrogen-based fertilizers. If we look at Caterpillar real quick, let's go back a little bit further. Really starting to look like a breakout. You wanted a little bit more volume that you got today. You wanted 3.75 million from June 4th, 2021. You got about 2.3. So you got about 3 days for big volume to come back into Caterpillar. I didn't look at Deere that hard. Let's take a quick look at that. So you may have a false breakout there. On Deere, you did come back down, fill the gap, and you did so on lighter volume. So right now it'd be the one that I'd favor over a Caterpillar. Anyway, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll be back Monday, like a bad rash.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible.